What is up, all of you Ugnaughts and Jawas out there, and welcome back to yet again another live stream episode of Mando Talk. And boy, oh boy, this week was a test for Zach Horvath, and here's why it was a test. We know that Marvel is returning back to the theater. Tonight, I believe, is the premiere of Black Widow, but Zach was dedicated. He is here. He is back yet again. Zach Horvath, what is up and how are you doing?
Oh, doing good, man. You're right. Black Widow tonight. I will not be there, obviously, but I'm happy to be here. You know, no place I'd rather be other than here.
Yeah.
And I will throw a disclaimer out there. I was telling Keller before the show. I got a baby on the way, everybody. So 39 weeks. So if y'all see me just, all right, I got to get out of here. That's why.
Sure. And then if that happens, I'll try to handle the ship like Han all alone. Maybe, Chewbacca's getting pulled out, but we'll figure it out. But if you're watching right now live, first of all, we really appreciate you being here. And secondly, if you're not watching live, that's A-okay. But regardless, you'll notice a fresh, clean little look we got going on with our YouTube videos here. And special shout out to somebody that those of you that have been dedicated listeners, Brandon Anderson. He has been working behind the scenes, working on all these cool little graphics for us, and I'm excited to continue to use these. I think they look pretty fresh. If you think they're pretty fresh, comment in the chat, wherever. If you're watching it back, just comment on it and say, you know what, BA, you knocked it out of the park. We miss you, and come back on the show. Tell BA that, man. We need to get BA back. We need to see what he's thinking about with all of the new Star Wars stuff that is going on. But you'll notice here at the top of that template that you see TikTok, Twitter, and Discord. Those are going to be our main push as far as social media platforms go from here on out. It's at Mando Talk on both Twitter and Instagram. Or sorry, I just mentioned Instagram out of habit. Twitter and TikTok, it's at Mando Talk on both of those. And then you can always click the Discord link that's in the description. And I'm really excited about that. I'm going to probably continue to use Instagram and Facebook when I can, but I'm really just trying to, narrow down our lane, narrow down our audience, making sure that we are giving the best effort we can on the platforms that we got. And I just felt like those are the three that we want to focus on. Zach, you have anything you want to add to that?
No. If you're listening, no, this is YouTube only. So
that's true.
Hey, what up? Check out that template, baby.
Yeah, that template's looking
it's hot.
Fresh. It is. Well, let's do this thing. Without further ado, let's get into our news pieces. But I do real quickly one more shout out. I keep throwing out shout outs, and hey, that's all good, man. It's a late Thursday night. We're trying to go into the weekend with positive vibes, and shout outs to let's see. Let me get it pulled up. Rural Farm Boy. We asked on Twitter for those out there that couldn't necessarily make it to the live stream to come over to the live chat and just say what's up. And I wanted to make sure that I got that shout out. Rural Farm Boy said, "Evening, Caleb and Zach. Would have liked to be in the chat with yous both, but morning work day comes." Oh, I can't. For some reason, it's
early for me.
Thank you for finishing.
I got you. Absolutely looking forward to your show and my playlist, and we appreciate it. We love you guys, and we love the support. So, in any way you can drop it, of course, we really appreciate it. But so you want to get into the main reason we're doing this today?
Yeah,
Star Wars news. That's why we're here. That's what we're getting into today. We're live, as you can tell. We do it live around here. We're thankful to have everybody. Couple of things this week. I think we're going to be able to dig into them.
Yeah,
looks like we've
really excited for these topics. Not gonna lie, like I've been itching to talk about these things with Zach, and I think we're gonna have some pretty special conversations tonight.
For sure. I agree. And I'm excited to get into it. So 4 big main topics for, this evening, but we're gonna get into it. I already know. Off the top, number 1 here, Star Wars Visions. First look was revealed at the Anime Expo. So I don't know if you guys have watched it. They did like a 3-minute little documentary segment kind of thing.
Yeah.
Go watch it. Even if you don't have interest in this, or you think you don't have interest, because it may just sway you.
Yes.
Just off the top here, I wasn't super pumped about Visions. Like I knew it was coming and I'll probably watch it, but I was like, yeah, it sounds pretty cool. After this little drop they did, man, what a video. Like it's exactly what I've been asking for from Star Wars in terms of opening up the world and letting the players play in the playground, right?
1000%.
Like what? So is that what you think? What do you think of the video?
No, and I'll just add to that. Like I've tried before to get into the anime style. I've tried to get into it. Jacob is a huge fan of anime, and he was just smiling to death when I showed him this video. And I respect those out there that appreciate it and love it. You know, I've tried to check out some here and there, so it's not really my kind of thing, but Visions looks great. And I do want to go ahead and mention that first of all, I mean, let me pull this picture up. It's going to be right there beside you, Zach. Boba Fett in anime form.
Is it this way?
Yes, it is that way.
Yeah.
Boba Fett in anime form. Just look at that visual. Look at that visual, and you can't tell me as a Star Wars fan that you are not absolutely stoked to see this thing. Now, it does seem like each of these stories are going to be like just completely separate from each other. They're not necessarily going to be connected. They're all these different individual stories. And I can't wait to see each of them. Zach, is there any particular story on that list that you're like extremely excited for compared to the others?
Definitely. One of them was just the name alone. It's The Duel. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Give it to me.
Yeah.
But the main one that I noticed in the video was The Elder, which is okay. It's a Jedi and a Padawan, and they go on this like mission to fight someone, and they don't give you a lot, but man, from what I saw, I was like, ho. I really like the style that we're getting out of that one in particular. Now, I want to point out what this is to someone who doesn't know.
Sure.
So, Star Wars Visions is basically an anthology series where they're letting different anime studios or different studios do their anime rendition of Star Wars. This is not canon. It is it's its own thing. They said, and quote, in developing the series, Lucasfilm made the decision to let creators tell the stories they wanted to tell, whether they featured established or original characters, without a need to tie to the larger chronology.
There you go.
Jeez.
Hey, it's late Thursday night. You know, you get a pass.
And it's a great idea, man. I gotta say, it gets me super pumped. Would I want this to be canon? I don't know if I do. Mm-hmm. I think this allows us as Star Wars fans to just enjoy Star Wars. And we're not like, well, this dude was doing this at this time. And you know how they get, right?
Yeah,
or we get.
100%.
And this allows the creators to just, hey, you got Star Wars. You can use lightsabers. You can use the Force. You do what you want. And that is sick, man. That's what I've been wanting. That's what I've been asking for. If you guys have been listening, let the creators create.
Yeah.
And it sounds like they're letting them do it here.
Yeah. And just to add to that, I think that it being non-canon gets me more excited. And it's simply because I think it's going to allow these creators that are specialized in anime to fully do their anime thing. Because if we were to somehow tie this down to canon, there's anime styles out there that would throw Star Wars for a loop, probably. Like, oh, you can't really do... There would be these people
That's what I'm saying.
There would be these people out there, you can't really do that ability in Star Wars.
If you say it's canon, people bring out their microscopes and they're like, oh, it's like, can we just enjoy the content for a little bit, have some fun? And it looks like Star Wars is saying, yes, go have fun. Yeah. And man, I am so pumped. There was one I wanted to call out in the video too. Like I said, go watch the video if you haven't, listeners. But there's a shot of like a bunch of stormtroopers, and then there's like somebody with like two lightsabers and someone standing in front of them. It's a quick shot. I don't even know which of the series it's from, but man, it was a sick shot. I was like,
yeah, there were a couple of sick shots that got me pumped. First of all, I mean,
yeah. Which ones are you looking forward to?
Well, Boba Fett caught my eye, obviously, and I believe that's going to be with Tatooine Rhapsody, and I think Jabba the Hutt's going to be in it as well. But the two,
and that's going to be a rock opera.
Yes, I read that, and I was
like, rock opera.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Yeah, that's right.
But the two that really stood out to me were the twins, because the creators were talking about how, you know, Luke and Leia kind of inspired this story, but obviously it's not going to be Luke and Leia. It's going to be a dark side. I can't remember if it was the boy or the girl that was dark side, and the other one is light side, twins, and I think that's going to be an interesting story. But one that really caught my eye visually was the Ninth Jedi, and that was the one with somebody was standing in the middle of a circle, and everyone around that person was holding a lightsaber, and I believe it was a red lightsaber, and that gave me some hardcore loving it vibes. So those two really stood out to me, so I'm glad that I had others that stood out to me compared to yours.
Yeah. Like I said, the duel, I don't even know if they talked about the duel very much in the video. I can't remember, but
can't remember either.
The Ninth Jedi, if that's the picture that's from, I remember that picture and I was like, ooh.
Yes.
Yes. Because this video was perfect, man. They talked to I don't know if it's every creator, but almost every one of them.
Pretty much.
And gave you like a 10-second snippet of what it is and what their thinking behind it was.
Yeah.
And it's so well done. I cannot wait for this. It was probably like a 3 or 4 on my scale of care. This bumped it up to like an 8.
Really? That high?
Yeah, that high. Yeah.
Well, and I think the fact that it's not canon bumped it up even higher for me. And I think I've already kind of addressed that, but that just really, you know, and I love creators being able to create. And I know, you know, I love things being connected. Like you said, I love canon. That's what we are as fans. We like things connecting. We've talked about how we want Star Wars to become so connected like the MCU, but I like this approach as well. Now, there is one more thing, though, that we wanted to talk about with Star Wars Visions. It's going to be arriving on September 22nd on Disney+, but they have yet to address something that I've been curious the most with Star Wars Visions, because we know they're short stories. That's how they've labeled them. Do you, Zach, expect a weekly release, or are we just going to get a massive dump of all 9 of these projects? What do you think?
I knew this was going to come up, and I still don't have an answer for it. I think they will do potentially what I said last week, where they drop like 2 or 4 of them or whatever. Is there 10 total?
I'm thinking there's 9. Yeah, there's 9 according to our list that we've got.
Yeah, 9 total. So maybe they do 333. Or they drop. I just don't see this being weekly releases.
Well, I just got a mental idea, because we see some creators / developers doing multiple ones. Maybe they just do it. If a studio has more than one, they drop them together. Potentially, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I think it's one of the two. I think it's they do the little timed releases with like bulk or little bulk ones, or they drop them all. I don't see them. I don't see this being a weekly thing. What do you think?
I'll kind of want it to be I think I want it to be a content dump. That's where I'm at right now. But I get a feeling they're going to do it weekly. I have a feeling they're going to continue that route. And only because I think that's them, you know, continuing that Star Wars plug in your ear until Book of Boba Fett comes out.
This is saying that the entire series of 9 short films will release September 22nd.
Well, who's the source on that one?
StarWars.com.
Oh, okay, then we know the answer. We now know the answer.
Let me check.
Cross it off the list.
I found it on Wikipedia, but they quoted StarWars.com. So let me see here.
You know, Wikipedia. Here we go.
Yay! Hey, I've been through college. That gets you on that.
Well,
let me check. You keep going. I'm gonna look.
Well,
here.
And I prefer the massive dump. But I was still expecting a weekly release, only to continue that, you know, we got Book of Boba Fett coming up, but hey, let's keep doing these weekly releases. Okay. You got an answer?
No, but I got to call this out. The duel from the Kamikaze Duga, I guess, they specifically call out that it fuses Star Wars with Japanese iconography, and the concept art reveals samurai-esque Jedi and Sith.
That does sound beautiful.
That's what I'm talking about right there, boy. Yeah. So sorry. Let's see. They're go to StarWars.com and look this up if you're very interested, because they go into detail on
Are you looking
a lot
at
of these.
the 10 takeaways or 20 takeaways? I can't remember how many it was. Man, I thought I read that thing thoroughly, but I must not have if I missed.
The full. Oh no, I can't find it. Maybe it doesn't say it. Freaking Wikipedia. Well, come on now.
Let's do this. If you know, if you're watching, let us know. Call us out for not doing our research, apparently. Tell us in the live chat or drop it in the comment section if you know that answer. Help us out, because again, I'm okay with either, but I like the idea of a dump. I would love getting all of these stories at one time.
Yep, I agree. So I think that's all we have on Star Wars Visions.
Yeah, that is it.
So the Duel and the Elder
to chew on there for sure.
For me, and then the Ninth Jedi and Tatooine Rhapsody for you,
and the twins.
That's
really, we're almost hitting all of them.
Yeah. I mean, I like that we're different though, but that makes sense.
Yeah,
I like that. I like that we're different. We're always different. So,
of course.
All right, moving on here. Number 2. In an interview with a Hollywood Reporter, Patty Jenkins offered updates on the Rogue Squadrons movie, and she was asked how it was going. So she said, quote, "It's going amazing. I had been on it already for 6 months before I even announced that I was. So we're pretty deep into it. We're finishing a script, crewing up, and it's all going wonderful. I'm so excited about the story and excited that we're the next chapter of Star Wars, which is such a responsibility and such an opportunity to really start some new things. It's really exciting in that way," end quote. I'll just finish the rest of the quote and then we'll get into it.
Sure.
When asked what it was like to work on Star Wars, she said, quote, "It's an entirely different way of working. I'm on the phone with all of them and doing Zoom meetings with everybody involved in Star Wars all the time. I'm fairly free to do the story that we want to do, but you really need to know who's done what, who's doing what, where it goes and how it works, and what designs have been done before. It's a whole other way of working that I'm getting up to speed on," end quote. So, Patty Jenkins dropping some heaters in here.
Bombs.
I love hearing that, they're working on it. They're pretty deep into production of it at this point, finishing the script, crewing up. I want to call out an interesting little, wording she says, in that we're the next chapter of Star Wars.
Yes.
That just hit me in the face, like, the next chapter of Star Wars. Like, what does this mean? What do you think it means, Kelly?
Well, I think it probably just goes back to, for so many, Star Wars has always been theater. And it's been a hot minute since we've gotten a Star Wars film. And I think that's just kind of, maybe I'm not interpreting that correctly, but I'm just thinking of it as Patty Jenkins means, Star Wars is back in theater with this film, and that's just really exciting for me. We're the next chapter. We're the next ones that everyone and their mother and their dad and their grandkids are going to go out and see together. And other than that, I guess I can go ahead and add to it as far as my biggest takeaway. I thought it was really cool that she said that she had been working on it 6 months before they ever even made the announcement. So you know what? That made me think, like, I think if we had a Star Wars celebration because it was canceled due to COVID last year, I think they would have dropped that announcement then had we actually had Celebration, rather than them dropping it in December with that investors meeting. So, I mean, because it sounds like she's been working on it for a while, but does that mean that, because we talked about last week, Matthew Robinson, I believe that's his name, the writer, can't remember his name, something along those lines. Has he been attached to helping her that long, or is this just, did she write the script, or is it just a concept that she came up with 6 months before they announced it?
I'm sure working on could mean anything. Does that mean she has a napkin and she's like, Rogue Squadron?
That's true.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
I don't know what it really means, but it means that she's been thinking about it and it's been on her brain and she's working on it. So that's enough for me. Again, I don't know what that means exactly, but I think it was an interesting choice of words, and I kind of like it. It's kind of a she realizes that it's a big deal. and that it's a pretty important movie. I mean, we're getting away from the Skywalker saga, at least for this generation. So, I mean, is this what it's going to be, right? It's going to be movies in Star Wars, right?
Yeah.
So she is really the next chapter of Star Wars, and so you gotta hit a home run. And to be honest with you,
after I've been reading that Heir to the Empire novel that's no longer canon. It's revealed inside there that Wedge Antilles is the leader of Rogue Squadron, and this is in Legends, and I believe there is a trilogy titled Rogue Squadrons that's out there that is still, though, Legends at this point. However, something else that I wanted to add to this news segment for Patty Jenkins and Rogue Squadrons is I believe also maybe last week I talked about how there was something she said out there that I didn't do enough research on to talk about. What she said in that interview was that she was looking at Rogue Squadrons, the trilogy, to kind of get some ideas.
She better be, right? I mean, I think the fans of those books are going to be at least, if you're going to call it the same thing.
Right. Now,
you've got to pull on some strings.
I am a little tiptoey with that, only because Rogue Squadron is in the Legends story is heavily tied to the Skywalkers, because Wedge Antilles it was very important in the Rebel Alliance and grew a bond with Luke and Han and Leia through all those Legend novels. And yeah, I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I've loved Star Wars, as long as I can remember. Skywalkers is all Star Wars is about. But even I've come to the point where I want to see a movie that doesn't maybe involve a single Skywalker or a single Solo, because we haven't gotten that, correct? We haven't gotten a single movie that doesn't have either a Skywalker or a Solo in it.
No, I mean, not ever.
Not ever. So I think I'm personally kind of ready for that. So yes, I like her looking at previous Legends content to inspire her, which is great. I mean, I'm sure tons of people out there, the first inspiration they got for Star Wars was Legend content.
Yeah.
I just hope that it's not like I hope our next chapter is not incorporating the Skywalker some more. Is that a bad take? Am I wrong for thinking that or feeling that?
No, because what came to my brain when you asked, has there been any movie that doesn't have Skywalker, is Rogue One. And that's an incredible movie.
Well, and
it's got Darth in it.
That's what I was going to say. Like, I was thinking Rogue One there for a second, but
it's got Vader in it, but that's proof that we can have a great Star Wars movie, and you don't have to have that be the main villain or character. But I wanted to read the official description of Rogue Squadron.
Sure.
The story will introduce a new generation of starfighter pilots as they earn their wings and risk their lives in a boundary-pushing, high-speed thrill ride and move the saga into the future era of the galaxy. So, this is set after
Rise of Skywalker.
It's gotta
be. Yeah, it's got to be.
I mean...
So maybe this is more connected with Rey than anything, but still, I think she's going away from that. Do you think differently? It looks like you're questioning.
I don't. I'm questioning it, but no, I think you're right. I don't think Rey and those people.
Okay.
Where I went was Poe.
And that's what I was about to say. Over 25%. Do we see Poe Dameron?
You got to see Poe, right? You got to.
Yeah. If they're gonna be a new chapter without Skywalkers, but they still want to connect it to the main story, Poe is your answer.
There you go.
That's
your answer.
Answer to do it.
And you have freaking Oscar Isaac, if you can get him back. I don't know, but you back the truck up and he's coming. So you know how we roll around here. Just back up the truck. We know you got it.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Now,
get him
Rogue
back.
Squadron is not shooting right now, and the only thing that I was just mentally thinking about was I don't know if Oscar Isaac is available because he's doing Moon Knight, right? They're shooting that right now.
Heck yeah, he is. Heck yeah, he is. Don't even know a lick about Moon Knight, and I'm excited
for it. But I mean, of course, it's Marvel. What do you expect? Of course, you're gonna be thrilled.
Right. And Oscar Isaac, come on.
Yeah. All right. But I was gonna say, maybe that would be an issue, but it doesn't sound like. Didn't we get a report or something that Rogue Squadron was shooting? I don't know. Never mind. That was the Acolyte. I don't know when Rogue Squadron
February.
was shooting. Yeah. I don't know when Rogue Squadrons is shooting. So it's possible for them to segue Oscar Isaac as Poe Dameron into it and that be their, oh, here we go. This is connection, but we're moving on in the story. Who knows, though? I don't even know if I want that connection, honestly. But I might just be feeling that type of way tonight, but tomorrow I'll turn around and say, of course I want Oscar Isaac as Poe Dameron.
I want Oscar Isaac in there.
Yeah.
I think that could be the one chance for Poe to really be Poe, if that makes any sense. Like, I feel like he's always kind of the ancillary characters of the new big three. And I mean, Finn for sure, in the last two movies, but I just mean overall, I feel like he got some cool spots, some cool stuff. He had the weird Last Jedi plot line where he's gonna do a coup. Here we go, talking about Last Jedi. Here we go,
Rian Johnson.
But hey, it's part of it, man.
Yeah.
But I don't know. The more I think about it, the more I want Oscar Isaac in the movie. Personally, because I think that'd be cool, but maybe not. Maybe if anything, if I had to put money, if you gave me $50, I would say that he would be a cameo role, where it would be like he's up there saying something and go on. We're with the new young squadron, and we're rebels, and we're gonna,
I could see
fight fast.
like a hologram. I'm giving you your mission kind of cameo. Maybe he's the new general of I guess they're gonna call it New Republic still. I don't know what their name is gonna be at this point. Maybe he'll be the new Leia Organa essentially.
Yeah, I don't hate that.
Or
I don't
Leia
hate
Solo.
that at all.
Apologies. Well, actually, I think they stuck to Organa anyway.
I don't think I would hate that. Let us know if you're watching live or if you're watching on playback. Yeah. Let us know what you think. Do you want Oscar Isaac back? That's a good Twitter question. Do you want Oscar Isaac back in Rogue Squadron?
I think that
because I do.
We might need to throw that on Twitter as our poll question for next week.
Yeah, let's do it.
Because I'm dying to know what people think about that.
Yeah, me too. Because it seems like we're kind of split on it. So.
Yeah, because I don't know. I'm just ready for new and to move on from the sequels. And they're toting it being a new chapter, furthering Star Wars, and I don't know how far you can really further and get away from the negativity that was the sequels in the fan base if you're going to bring in a sequel character.
I don't know, man. I don't know. This is Star Wars we're talking about. You can't think rationally. You got to think like, what can we do that's like random?
Fair enough.
So, I don't know. We'll see. But all right. Anything else on Rogue Squadron there?
Can't wait to see it. Other than that, let's move on to the next.
All right. Number 3, we have finally some Mandalorian updates, sort of, from one of the cast members. So on the podcast, Star Wars Sessions, Brandon Wayne, who frequently plays Din Djarin when masked. He's the guy in the mask most of the time. He gave the following updates. So for Mandalorian Season 3, he says, quote, I think there will be a lot less introductions and a lot more going back towards the first season of delving deeper into the character. If anyone's going to be able to continue telling a story, it's Jon Favreau, end quote. What do you think?
I haven't really wrapped my head fully around this because Season 2 was pretty daggum epic. And it's hard for me to want something differently from that because it was so epic. But I understand kind of what he is saying here, what Mr. Brandon Wayne is saying. As Season 1 was really focused on the development of Din Djarin's, leaving the Creed and, sacrificing all the things that he has viewed for so long to protect Grogu. Or we knew him as Baby Yoda at the time, or the child. In Season 2, though, I still felt like we got a bunch of character development because he finally, at the very end of Season 2, came to the point where I'm officially done with this is the way idea. I'm taking this helmet off, and I'm just fully committed to doing whatever it takes for Grogu. And so I don't really know. I don't know how to really take that quote, although maybe season 1 did dive deeper. What do you think? Did it really delve deeper into the character?
I've got a question for you. And I have an answer personally, but I want to hear what you think first. Do you think what he's trying to say in A Veil is we're really going to dig into Mandalorian and what it means to be Mandalorian? And Mandalore?
I hope that's what that is. And that would make more, maybe that's the correct interpretation of that quote.
I think that's my personal interpretation, is he's saying we're going to dive deeper into the character, as in we're going to dive into what does it mean to be Mandalorian, right? And I hope that's what we do. And as he says, if anyone's going to be able to continue telling the story, it's Jon Favreau. Mm-hmm. I agree wholeheartedly. And if we're going to dig into that, you better have some heaters coming, because you're going to have people just Twitter open and ready to just. So that's how I took it, was we're going to dive deeper into the character of Din Djarin, of Mandalore, of Mandalorian, all that good stuff.
I love that point, because, one of my worries, honestly, after season 2 of The Mandalorian is, how do you make this any better? There's not really much to go up from here. However, the idea of finally diving deep into this idea of what does it mean to be Mandalorian. Let's put an end to these silly debates of if Fetts are Mandalorian or not. And let's dive into the Darksaber. Let's dive into who is rightfully claiming the throne of Mandalore. Let's go back to Mandalore and all of those different things. That would definitely tick the radar.
I truly believe that's where we're going to go, because I don't want us to go bigger and more characters and go crazy. You know, season 2 was a banger. Okay, it was a banger, and I don't want to go bigger. I just want to go back to good and focused. And I think Mandalorian, the show, is at its best when we get a little bit of action and we get a lot of bit of character. That's any show, but I think Mandalorian in particular, with the Western vibes and the almost anthology type way they drop the chapters. I think it just makes the most sense to dive into Mandalore and what that means.
No, I agree. I agree, and I hope that's what he meant when he said that. Now, how much do you think he really knows, though? Because they haven't shot the thing yet.
I think he knows a lot.
Okay.
Because this dude is the dude.
Under the mask,
He's the dude who's filming the show. Pedro's in a booth somewhere saying, ooh, here. And they're like, oh, hey, Pedro, we need to come in for like 3 days and do these scenes with your mask off. Okay.
That's true. That's a great point. So maybe he does have the official script already, and he knows exactly what he's talking about.
If anything, you better believe they're doing choreography and stuff like that for fighting.
True. That's a good point. Do stunt doubles essentially, or just background, or I don't know the term that I'm looking for. Stunt doubles, I guess, is the most appropriate term to use. Do they get a script, or do they just show up and they say, okay, perform these moves? Because if that's the case, then he doesn't know what season 3's like, because we haven't shot it yet.
I'd like to believe that he gets a daggum script, because he has to act out the words, right? Okay. It's almost like a Darth Vader situation.
Okay.
Right? Am I crazy in thinking that?
No, you're not crazy.
I don't think standard they get like a whole script. I don't think. Okay. But tell me if I'm wrong, everybody, if you're a listener.
No,
I ain't an actor.
I think that's a great question to consider. Like, do those performers get a script? Because, I mean, I could see an argument, an unprofessional, someone that doesn't know what that lane is like. I could see an argument being made of, they don't really need a script. They just need to show up to shoot it.
I agree.
They are given these performances to make.
Like for Fast and Furious, they ain't giving the stunt doubles a script, I wouldn't think. It's like, hey, jump out of this car and do some flips. Okay. But when you're playing The Mandalorian, I feel like you got to know what words are going to be said so you can portray that with a freaking mask on.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Because we always give them props of.
Yes, we do. We do.
Wow. He really emotes when he has a freaking mask on. We don't know what he looks like. We got to give this dude props for that. Because
you're right.
I would say a lot of the time it's him. Now, Pedro is there filming. I was chirping him earlier. He's there doing it a lot of the time.
Yeah.
But this Brendan, Brendan gets in a lot. We know that. And so he did say something else I wanted to call out here.
Yeah.
About the old Book of Boba Fett. He said, quote, "I think that's what we as an audience, are going to get from the Book of Boba Fett. A lot more of that kind of feel. He gets even grittier than Mando did. I feel like he doesn't have the choice because he really was a different kind of character."
Well, that straight up just takes me back to, when he uses his weed eater and he just crushes stormtrooper helmets. Like, that's what we're going to be getting.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
Y'all have heard me say it before. I would love to see rated R Boba Fett, but obviously that's not going to happen. But if we can do stuff without seeing blood and guts and stuff, I'm in. That sometimes that's even better for me because I'm a big baby. I don't need to see all that. So I love what I'm hearing here, and I wonder how much does he know about Book of Boba Fett?
Yeah, and see, because he doesn't have the Slender to play the Boba Fett
but
stunt double or whatever the term is.
But does this confirm that Din Djarin is going to be in Book of Boba Fett?
100%. Let's go. He's got to be. Yep. He's got to be. If he knows this information, if he is in fact read a script, if he's been on set, because this has been shot. Book of Boba Fett is now at this point wrapped as far as shooting goes. He would know if Din Djarin was actually in the show. Because
I think it answers our question of
they're not. I was going to say they're not calling Pedro Pascal to come shoot Book of Boba. This is straight up Din Djarin only in his mask. Strictly.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like that confirms what I was saying earlier, where he gets a script.
Okay,
right.
Well, but for Book of Boba Fett, he's already been on set. They've already shot it, so he's seen.
I know, but what I'm saying is. Okay, I see. You're saying you don't have to read a script to know that it's grittier. Sure. And that's fair.
Because he's making the performances. He's watching the Boba Fett stunt double do it.
There is no way this guy doesn't know what they're going to say. And if that's the way they're doing it, this guy deserves an Oscar or an Emmy because this dude is acting he's acting like crazy. Yeah.
Man, I don't know. Gosh, I keep coming back to that question. I don't know.
We're questioning a lot tonight. So, that's not normally how we roll this.
No,
but
it's not.
We're asking some great questions that we don't have a way of knowing.
Okay, I'm going back to this conversation. If he had a script, do you think Lucasfilm Disney would let him go on a Star Wars Sessions podcast and talk about it? Because you don't see anyone else.
Let me clarify. I don't think he gets the full script or anything.
Okay.
I don't think he gets like what all the characters. I don't think they do that anyways. I don't even know if they do that. But I do believe that he gets Mandalorian script
information.
Maybe just like what the like what Pedro is going to be saying. Okay. He has to. There's no way he can act all that stuff out and it somehow fit exactly.
I think you've convinced me. So somebody out there listening is probably like, geez, Caleb, you are diving way too deep into this. Just accept the fact that this man has a script and move on. Dang it.
Yeah. I don't know though. You're making me question myself. Dude, no, I've been wrong a lot this week. You can ask my wife. I've been wrong twice this week. She's got something right twice this week against me. It's been a bad week for me getting things right.
Fair. Are you trying to get an official answer?
Well, I just put in general, do stunt doubles get a script?
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
And of course,
it's not
nowhere in the top here.
Okay.
So
somebody needs to just let us know if you're watching live and you know.
If you're a stunt double out there, Brendan, I know you're watching.
Come to Mando Talk. We can
come
get you
on Mando Talk.
Show.
Yeah, come on. We're gonna ask you some questions,
and we're gonna ask you that question first thing
of season 3. That's right. But from what I heard, I'm excited. I like hearing anything about Mandalorian at this point.
Yes.
I'm glad to see that we're getting a little nugget of what we might see. I think I may be digging into it a little bit more than what he meant.
That's what we always do here. That's part of our
it's just the way he worded it was very interesting, of saying, we're going back towards delving deeper into the character. Yeah. The only way we can go deeper is either his backstory, which we know to an extent, and then Mandalore, right? Which is his backstory.
I would love it.
So it's got to be what we're doing, man.
Because we didn't get any kid flashback scenes like we did in season 1 and season 2, correct? I'm trying to think back. We didn't see.
I don't remember.
I don't think we saw any of that. If you know, let us know in the chat or in comments. I don't think we saw Kid Din Djarin like we did in season 1.
I'm not sure, but that's all we got on that. Yeah. Anything else you want to talk about?
Nope. Can't wait for the Mandalorian 3, and I hope that Brendan Wayne is correct in both of these statements. I hope that both The Mandalorian Season 3 does dive deeper into what it means to be Mandalorian and the character himself of Din Djarin. And I hope he's right when he says that the Book of Boba Fett is, in fact, grittier, because I think that goes with the character.
I 100% agree. So we're going to keep going on Book of Boba Fett here. Number 4 on the news list here. Temuera Morrison spoke to the Daily Express, and he gave updates on Book of Boba Fett. He gave some pretty good info here.
Yeah,
so
I love it.
He drops the directors. Is this all the directors or some of the directors?
I don't know if it's all of them.
I took it as some of the directors.
Yeah, that's
but
how
he specifically calls out Robert Rodriguez, Jon Favreau, Bryce Dallas Howard, and Dave Filoni.
Yes.
Does that sound familiar to anyone?
It sounds
That's
100%.
Literally, that's literally the Mandalorian directors.
It's just missing Rick Famuyiwa. That's it. And then other than that, it would be season 1 of The Mandalorian plus Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah, well, season 2 of The Mandalorian, it would be exactly that, right?
Yes, you're right. Bryce Dallas Howard.
We only saw
Bryce Dallas Howard.
Because season 1 we saw Taika, and then we saw the Deborah Chow, maybe.
Yeah, Taika, Deborah Chow, Bryce Dallas Howard, Filoni, and Favreau were the 5 in season 1, and Rick Famuyiwa, if I didn't say.
Yeah.
But Bryce Dallas Howard also did an episode in season 2. So she's been in both.
She did the water episode, which was pretty freaking good.
Yeah, all the episodes that she's done have been great. The one episode that Robert Rodriguez did with Boba Fett makes it look like he's got a great understanding of this character. So I'm all in on seeing Robert Rodriguez.
And I like the fact he said him. I believe he said him first. He called him out. If he didn't say him first, I know he's talked about him a lot. And man, Robert Rodriguez is awesome.
Yeah.
So we got a comment here. He said, that junk man, he says, whatever the Mando season 3 story is, it will be about getting Baby Yoda. They're not going to let the biggest new Star Wars character out of sight for long.
Hey, that's fair.
That is so fair. And I think you're onto something, because how can you let Baby Yoda not be on the screen?
Yeah.
Right. And he's with,
that would be a huge
spoilers.
Mistake.
He's with Luke.
Ooh, we talked about.
Did we see Luke?
We talked about that with Rogue Squadron. We said we were ready to see a movie without Skywalkers. I do want Luke Skywalker in The Mandalorian, though.
I mean, man, I think we've talked about it on the show about, do you recast? Do you keep doing the like CG face thing? I don't know how we get Grogu back without Luke.
Yeah,
I don't want it to be like, Luke dropped me off at the train station and you came and picked me up. Like, come on, I want to see some action there. But it's a great call out. I think you're 100% right. That junk man.
Absolutely.
I like that.
Appreciate the chat, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, I appreciate the chat. So going back to Book of Boba Fett, we've got our directors of The Mandalorian, and we've heard multiple accounts of it being Mandalorian season 2.5.
Correct.
Sounds like that's accurate, at least director-wise. And let me go back to what Temuera Morrison said before we dig in any further. He doubles down on going back in the timeline. He says, quote, we've got to look at that timeline. We got to look at where Boba has been, and we got to get the fans happy. Got to keep the fans happy.
Yeah.
End quote.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Yes. And then the last thing he says is, quote, it's a duo thing, talking about Boba and Fennec. We've got Ming-Na Wen in there. She's playing the master assassin, Fennec Shand. Cool.
Yes.
What's she gonna be doing? I feel like we're gonna see her do some sick stuff in this season. If we're talking grittier and we've got Finnick in there, I feel like we're gonna see some sick like Black Widow style killing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Now I do want to go back to specifically the director's list. I've tried to do this before, where I've tried to predict the number of episodes based on this kind of information. I believe it was 2 weeks ago where Temuera Morrison said Robert Rodriguez is back to direct a few episodes, or at least a couple.
That's what I was talking about. Yeah, you're right.
And then now we got Favreau, Bryce Dallas Howard, Dave Filoni. If he's correct when he says a few, we can assume Robert Rodriguez is maybe 3 at most, maybe 3 episodes. I mean, that's a lot.
I say at least 2.
At least
I wouldn't
2?
go 3, but
I think that's fair.
Because I feel like 3 is a lot
It is.
in one series.
I think so too. So we'll say Robert Rodriguez 2. John Favreau, we'll just assume the rest is 1. So that puts us at, at 5
2.
just from what we know. But I agree with you. I think we can add maybe some of these are going to get a couple, and maybe there might be another director that we're missing. So I think this gives me evidence to double down on my take that we're going to continue with the 8 chapters for this Mandoverse, these Mandoverse shows, especially if they're claiming that it's Mandalorian 2.5.
Yeah.
You agree with that take?
I do agree.
Okay.
I agree. I mean, that's boring, but yeah, I agree.
Good. I've heard someone, I don't know how legit it is, but people out there online are saying they've heard whisperings of 10. I don't know about that. We'll see. I'm going to disagree until proven otherwise.
All right. Yeah, no, I normally I don't really care much about like the director of a general TV show. Like we watched Mayor of Easttown. This has nothing to do with Star Wars. I have no idea who directed that. Right.
Yeah, that's true.
So, and it was great. So I normally don't care, but with this being Star Wars and us doing this and us being crazy fans, this has definitely put a bigger target on that for me. And just hearing these names, it's almost like going home. You're like,
yeah, it's
all right.
It's like homecoming. It's like a comfort.
That's what I'm saying. It's a comfort food type situation where I'm like, all right, they've proven their chops. I can't wait to see what Dave Filoni can do this time around. Now that he's really, I feel he's proven himself with the Ahsoka episode.
Yeah.
Season 1, season 2, wow.
Yeah.
Now, if he can really flex his muscles and not have a character that he wrote and developed in Ahsoka and let us see him just direct, I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, I agree.
Let me ask you this, and in the chat as well, let us know. How many episodes do you think Jon Favreau writes this season? Let's go off the assumption there's 8.
Yeah. I'm going to say 6. Because he's executive producer of this one as well. And we've talked about how Boba Fett was really his inspiration into even making The Mandalorian. I think he's heavily involved with this thing. Now, he wrote all of season 1 of The Mandalorian, I believe. I know he didn't write the Ahsoka episode. I think that was all Filoni. I might be wrong with that, but I'm going to say at least 6. At least 6.
I'll say 6 as well. That's exactly where my brain went. I almost went 7.
Yeah.
With giving a little wiggle room. Sorry, I had to itch my foot there. I think 6 is a good call. I'm just gonna go 7 to be different.
Okay.
But I do think it's a lot. Long story short, I think it's a lot that he's going to write, and I'm not mad about that. I'm happy to see. Again, I hope it's a little bit different formula than go to this person, get this thing, as we've seen. But I still, in a greedy type way, I want it to be like the spaghetti Western type. That's what I want. So I don't know how you do that and not do the, talk to a person. I think the perfect example of it is episode 1 with, I don't know why I'm not remember his name.
Cobb Vanth.
But yeah, with Cobb Vanth. That was a very organic, this person has this thing and we got to do it. It was the same formula, but to me, it felt a lot more or a lot less video gamey. It felt more natural.
Well,
where
that episode
some of them and
that episode felt cinematic to me, honestly. Like that was a great premiere of the second season.
Yeah, I love that episode. I love Cobb Vanth. I hope we see him in Book of Boba Fett.
Dude,
I think we will.
Okay. I do too.
I don't know how or why or any of that good stuff, but I think we see him back. I mean, why would you get Timothy Oliphant for that?
Just for
one
second
episode. Role?
No shot.
And he has Boba Fett's armor on.
Yeah.
Like, if anything, I feel like Boba Fett goes and smokes him for getting his armor. I don't know.
That's true. He could.
But I don't know. But that is it, folks.
That is
our Star Wars news for this week.
A lot of cool and fun, interesting topics. Man, Visions is cranking up for me. You know, I was just kind of like, oh, that's cool. I'll watch it when it comes out. But once they drop that special look, I'm all in, as Zach would say. I'm all in on seeing those stories.
All in. Yeah. I'm super pumped about Visions. Yeah. Like I said, it went from about a 4 to an 8. That's how big of a deal it was to me. Because I love anime. I'm not super deep into the anime. Sure. You know, there's a gajillion of them. Mm-hmm. But I love the style because they kind of get crazy and go fun and get very cinematic. And those are things I love. So I cannot wait to see what Star Wars can bring to that.
Absolutely. And then we had Rogue Squadrons. We got a little bit of update on that. We really just got that Patty Jenkins has been working on it for a while, and she's very excited for this thing to bring the new chapter of Star Wars to us. And hey, I'm all for that. I can't wait to see it. And then, we went deep into, does Brandon Wayne get a script or not? Dadgummit, we still don't know. But regardless, he's sharing some info with Season 3 of The Mandalorian as far as it diving deeper into story. Book of Boba Fett's going to be grittier. And then, Temuera Morrison, keep dropping them details, Temuera. We love it. We love talking about the Book of Boba Fett. And we love talking about the Book of Boba Fett with all of you guys out there listening. We appreciate it. If you're watching on the playback, we appreciate your support. If you're watching live, we appreciate you guys that are here with us. A couple of updates, though, real quickly. I really meant to mention these at the beginning of the video. There's not going to be a... You got something?
If you're new here, be sure to subscribe and hit a like. You know, we got to do the plug, but we just want, we're trying to create a community here and we just want to have fun. And it's always easier if we just say subscribe because I know when I watch YouTube videos, I never think about it.
Yeah. That's
so
true.
Just hit that subscribe. You'll see us around. We do this every week on Thursdays normally, but Keller's going to get into some of the updates. So go ahead.
Right. No, update is... Next Thursday, we will not be live. We're going to take the week off. I think it's a well-deserved break for us. We've been going hard at it with the Bad Batch. And then, Zach mentioned it at the top of the episode that they are expecting a baby, an arrival to the family. So Zach's going to be taking a couple or maybe a few weeks off. We'll play it by ear. But Rebel Scum Texan is going to be joining us for our next live stream. I'm going to go ahead and put it out there in the stratosphere to force that to happen. That is going to be the next Thursday that you see us, which I think is going to be the 22nd. That's off the top of my head. But not next Thursday. We're not going live, but the following Thursday. It's going to be myself and Rebel Scum Texan to talk about the recent Star Wars news, and we're going to have 2 weeks worth of it because we're going to have to catch up on some things, so I can't wait for that. Those were the 2 updates that I wanted to throw out there, but we also have a Bad Batch spoiler episode coming out on Monday here on YouTube and also on all of our podcast platforms, so make sure you check that out. And if Zach is available again, we'll see if the baby comes or not. We will, whoever it is, we'll dive deep into that episode of the Bad Batch, and we can't wait for you to hear that and for your support for that. But that is all the updates. I wanted to make sure I just got those out there. Anything else, Zach, you want to say before we end this lovely, beautiful live stream?
No, we're happy that you guys are here, and we're very thankful if you're still around. Thank you so much. If I don't see you guys for a few weeks, I will be back.
Yes.
I'll be back. I'm going to be tired and I'm going to be a little cranky probably, but I'm going to be back and I'm going to be very excited to be back. And thank you all so much for your support so far.
All right. That is well said, and that is where we will leave it. So we will see you on Monday for our Bad Batch spoiler breakdown. And until then, as always, we have spoken.